guys, it's Khristina from Redefine Creative, and for today's Friday video, Lisa from PinkGlitterScrappers has invited any of us that wanted to participate in her Creative Influencers project to go ahead and do that on Fridays. And so I'm not sure I'm going to do that every Friday, but for today, the creative influencer that they have chosen is ArtfulLeigh. That's her name on YouTube and Instagram. And so I have looked through her Instagram feed, and I absolutely love her style. This is somebody that I was definitely really watching kind of their layouts and their style to begin with. And so I'm really excited to be able to kind of be influenced and scrap lift one of her projects. So I went through her gallery, and there's a few different layouts that I'm going to use for the basis of mine. So this is kind of a design that she uses really frequently, where she has some kind of embellishment in lines that are color coordinated across the bottom, and then one photo up here in the top right. And so this one, she has the multicolored hearts. This is another layout with that same type of design. So this time we have the flowers with that same focal image up here in this top corner and some journaling. And then same idea with this one, except she's using the rainbow of half circles. Also some stitching, same photo with the title up here. And so that's kind of where I am going to get my inspiration to create a layout based on her work today. So I'm going to be working all three of those, I think. Well, two of the three of those were food related, and then one of them was like flowers and gardening. So I'm going to use this photo. And this is from a store in our hometown that was just part of the Cupcake Wars show, and they actually won. So we took the kids to try out their cupcakes. So that's going to be my image that goes up here in this top corner. And then I've pulled out a bunch of papers from the Dear Lizzie Lovely Day collection. And so I'm going to have basically my rainbow is going to be three colors. So I've got the yellows, the pinks, and the blues. And so I am going to make this an 8.5 by 11 because all of those inspiration pieces I pulled from her were 8.5 by 11. And then we're going to work with this kind of idea of creating some bands of color across the bottom. So I am going to go ahead and put you on fast forward, and we will get started. Okay, so I've already cut my paper down to 8.5 by 11, and then I cut my white cardstock just a touch smaller because I want just a little bit of that pattern paper to kind of peek out around the edges. And this was something that was also in Leigh's layouts, where she had a pattern paper that would kind of peek out around the edges. And then I'm showing you there, I did go ahead and take my sewing machine and I stitched around the outside edges of that layout. And then I just used my fingernail and my scissors to kind of ruffle up the edges a little bit so that they look a little bit worn. And then I'm going to go ahead and take my photo, and I've cut it just a little bit smaller. And I'm going to back it with white cardstock as well as a little 4-inch doily. And then I found this kind of light bluish frame that says Summer Season Pass up at the top. And I thought that was just perfect for kind of the feel of this layout. This is going to be a really kind of light pastel airy layout. And then I went ahead and backed it with that brighter pinkish color that kind of plays off of the cupcake. And I am going to come back and add some yellow detailing eventually up there as well. So now I'm just going to go ahead and take my punch, and I'm creating a bunch of different circles in these different colors. So these ombre kind of papers were perfect because it gave me a lighter pink and a darker pink, a lighter blue and a darker blue, and that kind of thing. So I went ahead and I've punched a whole bunch of circles, and I'm going to kind of play with how I want those to be down here on the bottom. Just like in Leigh's pages, I wanted to keep kind of true to her idea that there's different bands of color. And so we have a pink band, a blue band, and a yellow band. And then I'm going to go back and realize that I'm going to start out thinking I need to add this other blue, and the two of the blue ones are the same. But then I realized that I actually have another yellow pattern paper in that ombre polka dot one that would be yellow. So I'm going to end up switching the blue layer and the yellow layer because I do have 3 different yellow ones and I only had 2 different blue ones. And so I did grab that little tiny puffy sticker cupcake, and that's going to just get nestled underneath my title. And that's just a puffy sticker. I think it's from Stickopotamus, maybe? It's just something I picked up at Walmart, honestly. So there you see I've switched my blue and my yellow, and then I've also punched a few circles in a smaller size that are going to overlap, one in each one of those rows. Just to add a little bit of dimension, because I do know I'm going to add a bunch of embellishments down here at the bottom as well. So it makes it look a little bit different. It's not quite so even and symmetrical when I go ahead and add those little circles. So I really liked kind of the look that added. And you can see up at the top, I did take my tab punch and I made two little yellow tabs out of the polka dot paper, and I have tucked those in on the top left and the bottom right around my photo to bring some of that yellow up to the top edge of the page as well. So now off screen, what I did is I went ahead and took some embroidery thread and I stitched through each one of those lines with the coordinating color. So I have yellow thread, blue thread, and then a pink colored thread. And I didn't want them to be perfect and straight. I wanted them to be a little bit wonky, so they're purposefully not straight lines because everything around my photo is kind of a little bit offset and wonky. And then I went ahead and grabbed 3 pieces of flare from my stash, and one in each coordinating color. And then I'm going to add those to the circles here on the bottom. So that one is just a plus sign one that has some yellow paint dripping, then the star on the bottom, and then the blue one says, "Well, hello there," which I thought was kind of cute with this photo. And I'm going to go ahead and get that photo stuck down up here at the top. And so like I said in the beginning, this is a photo from a cupcake store here near us that won Cupcake Wars. So when I'm putting in my title, I am just going to call it Cupcake Wars. And so I've used that Dear Lizzie alphabet to create just a 2-line title, and I've kind of nestled it in, overlapping my photo as well as overlapping my embellishments down there on the bottom. And then I've grabbed my puffy stickers from Dear Lizzie, because what would a layout be without a bunch of puffy stickers? And so I'm just pulling out the pink, blue, and yellow ones, and I'm just kind of overlapping them on what I already have. These little yellow flowers had some green leaves, and I didn't want the green, so I'm just cutting that part, kind of trimming it off so that I just get the flowers. And then I also have a few of those hearts in the blue and the pink. And then I'm going to grab these enamel dots, and these are from Echo Park Summer Dreams collection. And I'm going to use those throughout my layout. And I start out thinking that I'm going to offset them off of my circle details a little bit. And then I end up going back and moving them all to overlap, and I like that a lot better. So part of creating a layout like this for me is just kind of playing around and seeing where it takes me. I ended up going a little bit enamel dot crazy here. And so you'll see that here in a second, how many enamel dots I end up with on this page. But part of creating layouts for me is truly just seeing how things go together and putting different pieces together. I did grab these October Afternoon labels, and I have stacked up 3 of them. So I have a pink, a yellow, and a blue, and that's where I'm going to end up adding my journaling, is to that little space with a couple more enamel dots, and that's going to do it for this layout. So I really enjoyed working with ArtfulLeigh's gallery on Instagram, finding something to influence a page, and I'm really happy with how this page turned out. The pastel colors, all the little embellishments, and all the little details, along with the hand stitching. Just a really fun project. And so I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys again tomorrow. Bye!